my name is Jason Villers, and I'm a candidate for graduation from the Master of Educational Technology program at Boise State University. This is spring semester of 2012, and this is my reflection video. In this video, I'll take a few minutes to discuss some of my favorite projects and some of the projects that I feel I learned the most from and that will benefit me most in my career. My background briefly is I graduated from Eastern Washington University in 1998 with a Bachelor of Arts in Education. I then moved to Oregon where I taught 5th grade for several years, and now I live in Pendleton, Oregon, where I work for Blue Mountain Community College in their college prep department, and a group of us are contracted to teach college prep to adult men inmates in an adult medium security prison here in Pendleton. There are some challenges that I have faced while completing this program with my students. Mainly, they do not have access to most technology, especially the internet. So it's been hard to share any of my projects with them or use the things I've created to help enhance their education. But I hope this will change in the near future, and I will be able to involve technology in my teaching at the prison. So let's take a look at my first project. Okay, so this is the first course I'd like to discuss. This is EdTech 502, the Internet for Educators. This course taught us how to use HTML and Dreamweaver to create our own web pages for educational activities. This is the project link, our project list website that we created first, and then we linked all the rest of our projects to this site. The first site I created was the email netiquette site, or the second I should say, after the project list site. In this site we learned how to float objects, so you can see the pink box to the right. The second was the accessibility hot links project. In this project we learned how to link other websites to the website we created. Next, we went to the copyright scavenger hunt. I chose illegal music downloading. We got to use fireworks for the very first time, and I used that to create my bullets, the little music notes here. Okay. And then we also learned how to attach a Word document to our website. So these are the questions for the illegal music download scavenger hunt. Next, I went to the interactive concept map. We got a little more in depth using fireworks here. I created the Writing the GED essay banner. I created the bullets that look like pencils with fireworks. And I created this outline where you can click on each part of the outline, and it will give you more in-depth information on each of these parts of writing an essay. Next, we did the jigsaw activity. Theodore Roosevelt was my topic. We learned how we put a JPEG into the website, and we learned how to create a table. And then we also had links to our other websites. So as you can see, each project builds on what we did the week before, and each project tends to incorporate skills from the previous. This was the M-Learning activity. Basically, we learned how to design a website intended for use on a mobile phone. So everything is much smaller and presents well on a small screen. This is the Oregon Zoo M-Learning activity. This is designed for students who are actually at the Oregon Zoo to be able to pull this up on their mobile phone and complete the activities as listed. Also created an EdTech homepage, put a JPEG in there, and this has links to all of my projects, or the major projects for the program. Lastly, the culminating activity was the virtual field trip. Now, this is where we really got to use cascading style sheets, which is where you're able to write code that carries on the design and the look of one page to all of the linked pages. So as you see, as I click to the other pages, they all follow the same format and they all look the same. We didn't have to program that with HTML on each page. The cascading style sheet was able to carry that through to each new page. So in this program, or in this course project here, the virtual field trip, I discussed Oregon. Okay, I created this banner and fireworks, and then I just broke up Oregon into 4 regions: Portland, Columbia River Gorge, the Oregon coast, and Eastern Oregon. There were several links to regional activities and sites on each of the pages. There were pictures, JPEGs, and there are YouTube videos that I embedded to bring out more of a multimedia experience for each region. This was a great class. I learned a lot about HTML, Dreamweaver, cascading style sheets. A great and very informative class. The next project I'd like to discuss is my final evaluation project for EdTech 505. The topic of this project is evaluating the Aztec learning system in the Oregon Department of Corrections. This is a learning system that is loaded on the servers for the Department of Corrections, and we use thin client labs for the students to have access to this program. This program basically teaches all subjects: math, writing, reading, science, social studies, and the Department of Corrections purchased many licenses for this for all the prisons throughout the state. So I thought I would do an evaluation on this project, or on this program, and see if it's worthwhile and if our students are really getting the most out of this program, and if the teachers like it as well. This was a very good project, and I enjoyed it because this is one that really applied to my job. So first thing I did in the evaluation process was I looked at some pre-test and post-test results for the ABE and GED students. These are loaded directly off the program. Okay, it saves all the results from their pre and post-test. So over here we have the average fractions module pre-test score for 20 ABE students that were in my class at the time. The pre-test before any learning on the Aztec system was 46.1%. After they completed the entire fractions module, those same students scored a 74.3%. So that's quite a significant improvement. If you look on the other side here, we have the GED students, the basic algebra module pre-test, 39.7%, and the post-test, same students, 72.2%. So as you can see again, as far as student achievement, this program seems to be fairly effective. I also did a survey with my students, an attitude survey. They were to rank their attitudes basically on this group of questions about how well they thought the Aztec program worked for them. Questions such as: the Aztec software helps me understand concepts I'm struggling with in class. It's easy to use. I enjoy using it. I feel I've improved on concepts that I have studied using the Aztec software. And these are the results. As far as helps me understand concepts I'm struggling with, 18 gave it a 4 out of 5, 10 gave it a 5 out of 5. So all the way down the board, fairly favorable results for the Aztec learning system. There are a couple areas that didn't score as highly. The software is organized in a way that makes it easy to find what I'm looking for. It didn't score quite as high. And the Aztec software will help me prepare for employment in the future. You know, I guess they didn't feel that it would do that much for them. I also conducted teacher interviews with teachers that use this program with their students, which is everybody in our department. And they also had positive things to say. They thought the software was easy to administer. There were very few complaints that I really noticed throughout the teacher interviews. So overall, this was a great project. I was able to come to the conclusion that this is a worthwhile program for the Oregon Department of Corrections to have purchased, and these students are getting a lot out of using this program. Okay, the final project I'd like to discuss is my project for EdTech 522 online course design for adults. In this course, we focused towards the beginning of the course on some of the differences between adult learners and other learners. And what it came down to was adult learners wanted to know why they were learning something. They wanted to know how it would benefit them in their career or just in general. And we learned that if we base what we're teaching adults on their experiences, they will be much more engaged and have a lot greater interest in the learning process. So for this instruction, or for this project, we were asked to evaluate a learner, analyze a learner in our class. So we were assigned a partner, and my partner, I sent him a survey. We had some discussions, and I analyzed my learner. And he was a teacher, a high school English teacher. He had used some technology in his classroom and was pretty good with most of it. One thing that I discovered and that we talked about it, something that he would like to be better at and wasn't really well versed at, was using screencasts in his classroom to enhance his instruction. So I decided this would be a good topic to create this lesson in Moodle for this student. This was my first experience with Moodle, so I thought it was a really good learning management system, easy to work with. I went on to take EdTech 512 later on, where I created an entire course in Moodle on writing an essay. And I must say it was much easier after taking this course and kind of getting my feet wet with the Moodle interface. So here's the project. I broke it down into 3 parts. First, I had him use some online resources to discover screencasting and its benefits to education. There is a discussion question for him to answer. Part 2, there were some more things for him to read, some things for him to look at, and then I wanted him to explore some different screencasting tools and determine the differences between them, and that was part of the discussion question he had. And then the third part of the project, he was actually to create a screencast for me and submit it. And it was just any subject he wanted to use that he thought he would teach, that he would normally teach his class. And this went very well. He did a great job on the project. And I think he learned a lot about screencasting. He seemed to be very happy with the lesson. And I learned a lot about adult learners, and I learned a lot about Moodle. So this was a great class for me and a great project. So these are some of my favorite projects that I created for this program. From start to finish, I feel the educational technology program at Boise State taught me more than I could have ever hoped for when I first enrolled. And I know that this will be knowledge that I carry with me no matter where I go as far as my career choice goes. Like I mentioned before, the current job I'm in is pretty limited as far as technology and what my students have access to. With my background now in the educational technology field, I really hope to become an advocate at the state level for allowing our students to have more access to things that will enhance their education through technology or whatever means necessary. And I believe now that I've completed this program, I have the tools to help this happen and become a reality. Now that I'm done with the program, I'm going to miss my professors, my classmates, and the coursework in general. I found it very rewarding to be able to complete many of the projects that I did. I'd like to thank all my classmates and professors for all their help and encouragement. It will be nice now to get back to somewhat of a normal life maybe and play some golf and spend some more time with my family. Thank you for viewing my video. See you around.